Bum, 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 bum. All right. See here. There he is. You. We with BraveBoy this.
We back in the mix. Seattle
Back.
Now the conversation is a really good conversation, and we
I know.
definitely should continue to do more of these because you are on the ground in America, so it's like you could say for sure what's happening with an American audience regarding soca or local music. And I mean, I've seen footage of your events in Seattle too, and it's interesting because, as I say, where I was going with the last comment I was making, people think that because I'm pursuing a career outside of Trinidad that I don't love Trinidad culture as much as the average Trinidad. That's not true. I want to see soca make it big. I want to see Carnival thrive. I want to see anything from Trinidad, really do well. And you're right, like, soca can continue to be what it is, as in it could maintain within Trinidad and the Caribbean. There are over 20 million people in the Caribbean, right? We have enough people to create our own economy, and we don't need anybody from other. Let's say COVID continues and it's locked, the Caribbean is locked, and the Caribbean has to coexist. We could make millions from entertainment within the Caribbean. So with soca artists should be doing tours Caribbean-wise. Like they should be. It should be when Carnival done in Trinidad, you go to St. Lucia, then you go to Grenada, then you go to this one, and it's like a proper concert with acts, like people go in groups. So if Bungie is the Bungie bringing 5 acts with him to this island, this person bringing 5 acts with them to that island, like what Jamaicans do. And if it is we do that, and then there's more collaborations into island. So then you have people, Bungie do a song with somebody from St. Lucia, that person comes to Trinidad, and it's starting to happen within soca, but it still has so much more to go.
Right.
I feel like we can have a music industry in the Caribbean if it is somebody brings structure to it. There's no publishing company in the Caribbean, like no successful publishing company. So it's real people who not getting publishing money,
Right.
When your song play on next island, who collecting that fee? I don't know if cut
who collecting that money?
Not to not cut, but so it's like we don't even have hair organized, but we're talking about Grammys and we're talking about all these things. So that's where my frustration comes with the conversation about Trinidadians and what we have here is we could do it, and I just feel like those elements or those parts of the assembly line that would take it to the next level are not being constructed or not being set up. And I think that it's the same conversation we've been having since we in school,
Yeah.
Not us, but I just think like people have been having the same conversation, and I'm now exposed to other markets who have it together and doing their own thing, and it's like I want to see that here. I want to see if it is we're gonna focus on soca being what it is now, which is a genre that's big in the Caribbean, big in the diaspora. Why are we giving away our music? If it is that we can stream all the soca on a YouTube channel for free, why would I buy it on Apple Music and Spotify?
Yeah.
Why we don't have our own Apple Music and Spotify?
That is exactly what I was thinking. So one of the things I want to do with Seattle Soca, right, is to make it so that it's both. I know that some guys came out. I think Abby and they came out with an app.
Radio.
Yes, radio. Yeah. But I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it's still going.
Listen, in this country, unless you're successful, people like winners, right? We like it when you win. When they go back to the community football analogy, right?
Yeah.
When you're playing football in community league, right? People not really, unless you're scoring goals, unless you're the star player, people don't care.
Right.
If you're playing for the national team, unless you score any goals, nobody cares. If you play in the World Cup, unless you scored a goal, so we like winners, and I feel like we are not the kind of people to support somebody from the ground up.
Right.
We want to support a business when they reach the mall.
Yeah. Right? We like matured. We like matured. We don't.
Yeah, we don't like the initial stage, and I think that is an issue. And I think that there was radial, and then there was tune. Right? A brethren of ours, Kern, had a app called Tune, and he did everything right, but he didn't get support from the artists. You know, so it's like,
yeah,
you can't have an app for music with a set of upcoming artists, because nobody going to. That's just not a good business.
No one's going to listen to it. Yeah.
The way how it could work, somebody needs to have an app, whether it's Marshall, but whoever. Marshall is probably the best one. You need to have Marshall premiere his song on your app. Right. If Marshall premieres, like, he not premiering it on the radio, he not premiering it on Julian's Promos, he not premiering it on Apple Music, he's premiering it on this Caribbean app, then everybody will come to your app to listen to the song. So the problem with, I know a lot of people who, somebody spoke to me the other day about a app, you know, like
Big up Reno Shine.
Huh?
I said big up Reno Shine Entertainment.
Yeah, man.
There are some other Trinidadians here that you know, they do promotions and they put on events as well.
Oh, for real? Big up, man. Respect. Nice to meet you all, man. And don't worry, as soon as things ease up and the borders open back up, and I could come back home.
Right.
I'm about to leave and I can't come back. I'll definitely come in and check in Seattle. But now I just think that for all these things to work, everybody had to work together. So somebody had to make Marshall, give Marshall equity in that app, in their app, and have Marshall premiere their song on that app, you know. Or if not Marshall, Prince Swanee and them use people who have big numbers. Let them as an artist get equity in your company. And if Prince Swanee premieres his new song on your app, everybody will come on your app and check it out. You know,
I think that, you know, if we get somebody like myself,
yeah,
who's into DJ promotions, you know, tech, supply chain, and all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you get the right amount of venture capitalists in it, and you know, just the same idea of Kaiso tent or Calypso tent, right? You take the same idea and bring it into the app, and you think about it more like a 10-year plan or, you know, 15-year plan, instead of, I want to create this year, and next year I expect to, you know.
Yeah, listen, things take time. Like, look at Will Star Hip Hop, right? For the hip hop heads. Or look at GRM Daily. They started with
right.
10 subscribers.
Look at Virgin. Look at you know, all these other record labels in the Caribbean that make a ton of money off of Caribbean artists, and they're based in England. You know, we can do the same exact thing. But and we have the technology, you know.
People head off patience. People just want to bust. You want to invest 10,000 today and get $1 million tomorrow. And I think, and it's the same thing with music now. So that's why people get frustrated with other markets. Like for me, I'll talk for myself in EDM. A lot of people tried EDM from Trinidad, but then they got frustrated because they felt like, you know, this is just noise, or what it's doing for my career, or they didn't really. But it took me 3 years in EDM to really get any kind of success or make any kind of money or get, you know, and the kind of networks I have are priceless. But I have to be consistent with it. I have to.
But no matter what, in any type of business, I think people, you know, they like to disassociate art and business, you know, and they use it in a way where they exploit people, and the artists use it in a way, you know, to get their feelings and emotions out, and they don't capitalize on it, right? But if we really, really think about it in a business sense and say, you know what, this is going to take me about 2 or 3 years before I really see any type of positive income from this thing, I think, if we think like that right out the gate, we'll start reaching a little further.
No, for sure. But listen, everybody in Trinidad in the music industry, soca, they just thinking about how many gigs they could squeeze in for Carnival.
Right.
So there are a few who really are quality over quantity. Voice is a good example. Voice is somebody who, to me, still manages to only release quality music. He's still particular about. Somebody was telling me the other day that he doesn't really perform in clubs. He tries to keep it to the fets, and he has his brand and his way he does things.
Right.
Nyla Blackman and her camp, they do an amazing job in terms of her marketing and rollouts of her songs and projects, right? So, but generally,
she's on Instagram all the time.
Exactly, right? They understand the power of social media and they work really hard. They have to give them the jacket.
Yeah.
But I think generally, people don't take the time to do things properly in our industry. Like, you want, and the thing is, sometimes you'll get, like, if you get hit, if you get hit in Trinidad, that's probably sometimes the worst thing that could happen to a Trini artist, because they get swell-headed and they feel like they make it, and then it's just perspective.
That's why I like to see soca artists when they're in America, or even Jamaican artists. Well, actually not Jamaican artists, because Jamaican artists in foreign and a Trinidadian artist in foreign, two different beasts.
Yeah.
If you meet a Jamaican artist in foreign, them just act like them is freaking go like Janet Jackson. You know what I mean? Them no matter what level, them they feel like you have to, prima donna on fleek, right?
Right.
Trini artists though, we kind of tend to we just really simmer down a lot, and and we don't really show the stardom as much as we should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's because a lot of times you're in an environment that, especially if you're new to it, you're in an environment that new to you. Like, especially if you're performing in certain cities that not Brooklyn or not, you may be a little uncomfortable because you're starting to wonder what people think of you. It depends on a few things, but I just think that a lot of artists aren't willing to start from scratch in a new market, because the real humbling thing is, because in every market I have to venture into, I have to start from being a nobody, right? And in all these other markets, in the Latin market, even now, like, I'm still not known in the Latin market, but I'm way further than I was 2 months ago when I released Pronto, right?
Yes.
And because of Pronto, because of Pronto, I was able to
look
and meet all these people.
You see that swag that you have in that Pronto video?
Yeah.
That's the kind of swag that you gotta have when you come out to perform anywhere.
They like that. They like this. It's a star power one. I would say like this. I was walking through Lollapalooza, as in through the crowd, because you had to go from one stage to the other. And this white girl run. I just see these 3 white girls just running. I don't know who they're running towards. And they stopped, they flagged me down and asked me if they could take a picture of me. And I don't know who they thought I was, but I was 2 Chainz or something.
They were probably like, they're like, it's the hair weave killer right there, man. They're like,
But the thing is, I get that in America. Like, I make a joke with my friends. Like, I get treated way more like a celebrity in America than in Trinidad. And nobody in America knows me, right? But it's like, I'm telling you, the image and the marketing works there. You understand? It definitely is. And I don't know, like, as I say, this goes back to a conversation of, listen, you could be whatever you want to be. If it is you want, 2 Chainz, big up Pacos. You could be whoever you want to be. If it is you want to be the biggest soca artist, you have to play by soca rules, right? Soca rules. You have to have a hit for Carnival. You have to have your music playing on the radio. you have to have those songs that the diaspora waiting to come home on Caribbean Airlines flight singing your song when the plane landing. Right? Those are soca rules. If you want to be a pop star or a pop artist or a crossover artist, none of that matters. Right?
Right, yeah.
and I think that is the, so when soca artists say that they want to win a Grammy, you can't win a Grammy. It's like saying you want to win the World Cup playing community football. It's not going to happen, right? So that's what I'm saying. People just need to be real with what they want. If it is that you want to be a multi-millionaire doing soca music, traveling the world, because I love the fact that soca artists go to Spain, they go to Dubai, they go to all these things. But what they're doing is they go into these places to perform for Trinidadians and Caribbean people. Right. And nothing is wrong with that. That's a business.
Nothing is wrong with that. No.
Nothing at all. But we cannot confuse that with soca is crossing over to the mainstream. And that is to me the disconnect, because that's not necessarily true. Because when soca is crossing over to the mainstream is when people who do not have Caribbean friends discover soca in a multitude, right? And that doesn't happen yet. As I say, you'll have the bungee song that's in a DJ pool for dancehall, and a DJ discover that and plays it, but they think it's dancehall.
Yeah.
But if you understand what I'm saying, it's like until we see soca on top 40 radio stations, like how Turn Me On is. Turn Me On is the example. Until a Trinidadian soca artist has a song that's on Kevin Little Turn Me On's level, it's not going to cross over mainstream. But we don't need it to cross over mainstream. We can make millions and make we can make generations of millionaires here.
But it's almost as though, right?
Right.
It's like for a lot of businesses where soca is still maturing, right? It's better to have that business in an incubator, right? And I believe that it's totally fine, right? And we should even preach that it's okay for soca to be in an incubator, because when you slip out of that, and when you slip out of the incubator stage and you're not ready, people are just gonna take it and just run with it. Jamaica is lucky that they have Bob Marley. Right? If Jamaica didn't have Bob Marley and they only had Peter Tosh and who else? What's this guy that used to act and stuff like that? The big Jamaican actor who also released a few reggae songs.
Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff, yeah. If it only had Jimmy Cliff, and it didn't have Bob Marley, like just like how Hawaii and New Zealand and most of the Polynesian places, take over reggae and they run with it, and there's never one reggae artist from Jamaica in there. It's the same way that it would be completely taken over, and then the influence from the first world countries would be coming back, and the people wouldn't be listening to the local performers anyway. Just like how I was making the example of the hip hop artists in Alaska, wondering why people are listening to them. Well, because they have everything on the top 40 hip hop station to listen to. They don't. Why they listening to you? So
and I think soca could continue to be what it is. I think that it could be it already is in some ways a multi-million-dollar industry, right?
You're saying that Bob Marley cleared the way for reggae music, but that's true. But it's like, do we really want it to be cleared in a sense? You know what I mean? Like, how much money one person is really going to make from that? And like you were saying, that within the diaspora alone, there's enough money for people to live off of, right? So,
and money, there are levels to this, right? You can be a Trinidad millionaire,
right?
Or you can be an American millionaire, or you can be a UK millionaire,
right? And look, right now, I'd rather be a Tobago millionaire.
No, but it's levels that man. I think, listen, soca music and carnival has so much potential to make even more money, just sticking within the current business model. We just need to sort out publishing, licensing, because at the end of the day, there are some songs. Let's continue the same business model of touring, going to all these carnivals, but look at other streams of income for soca. So there are certain, whenever Hollywood does a movie in the Caribbean, they look for Caribbean music. Whenever VH1, like for example, Gil's Cruise did episodes in the Caribbean, and they use soca music. So soca music got licensed for those opportunities.
Right.
There are way more opportunities like that happening every month. And I just think that the industry just needs to be a little more structured.
Yes.
Branding and why so many more soca artists don't have proper endorsements. Like real endorsement. It's always the top ones who have real endorsements, you know? And I feel like why it is, like I know Bungie has Campari, right? So Bungie has a regional endorsement, which is amazing. But why more that not happening now? Because most most brands in the Caribbean try to market to other islands in the Caribbean, right? So for me, if we could look internally and look at a regional business model, which doesn't include busting in this market and that market, focusing on just this market and the diaspora. And as I said, we could be multi-millionaires, Trini multi-millionaires, which is amazing. But I think that structure is just not being put into place. Now, COVID happened now, and a lot of artists, producers, DJs, anybody, if it is you renting sound equipment, whatever, it's pressure. Yeah, it's hard for everybody. But the artists, the producers who have rhythms that streaming, whoever the hit rhythms, all right, like there's this thing in the Trinidad music industry with producers, writers, and artists. Everybody want to own the master, right? And that little squabbles here and there and stuff. I'm sure you heard about the themes. But at the end of the day, during Carnival, artists make all the money. But during COVID, producers making all the money because they own the master. Yeah. So it's
and they streaming them.
Right. So suppose if COVID lasts for 6 more months.
So it comes as though the producers are the bankers in this situation.
Yeah, right? Well, the producers are, in most cases, it's like the exec. Well, I think producers are getting smarter now and understanding the power of the master. And owning a master is like investing, like it's almost like a pension plan, you know?
Right.
No matter what. And you could pass your masters on to your kids or your publishing onto your kids. You know, so, but artists never really study that because they could make 100,000, 200,000 gigs for Carnival. As I'm saying now, with what's going on in the world, the fact that nobody's, yes, you could get a little virtual party gigs here and there, singing happy birthday or singing a song on Zoom, right? But there are no carnivals, which is like your main bread and butter. So I think it's shaking up the industry in a little way. And I feel like producers are probably making the most money right now. Those who are smart and have a business together.
Are producers willing to allow people from outside, like well, you know, I'm Trini, but I'm considered from the outside, to come and finance rhythms and put artists on it?
Yeah, but you have to spend your money.
Right.
You know, once you're willing to spend your money, I think that anything possible.
So what kind of money you're looking at if you come and you know, like in Jamaica, they drop rhythms and they have about 10 people on the rhythm, you know? What kind of money they looking for?
There are different business models. All right, I think production in Trinidad starts at 5,000 TT. Starts, right? You could get a fully produced song for at least $5,000, right? But when you go up in the ranks of the more popular producers or the hit-making producers, it goes to like 15,000, 20,000. I've heard even up to 30,000 people charging for a song, right?
Right.
If you want to own a song, you have to buy into that. So if you want to own 50% of a song, somebody's going to charge 20,000 for. You got to invest 10,000 or even more because you paying for the fact that they will not receive a certain amount of money after the fact that you know, as in for years to come. So you have
Right.
to buy them out of. It's like buying stocks from somebody.
What about the artists? What about the artists that you get to perform? Would they get free studio time when they when they lay down their tracks on the rhythm that you paid for?
Yeah, I mean, we have a producer in chat here. Chenko, you could share some light on it, but I think that usually when you pay for full production, it covers everything. So it covers studio time, production, mixing, and mastering. Um,
Okay.
but as I said, there are different situations. There's some producers who charge artists to come on rhythms, you know.
Yeah.
Like in other words, if you are not a known artist, you have to pay me to be on this rhythm because I'm going to have known artists on it.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, so it really depends. It depends. But I think it's a good idea to have in foreign investment in local rhythms, especially if the foreign executive producers are taking artists from other markets and mixing them. So, for example,
Right.
like you have a Brazilian from Miami who he mixes soca artists and dancehall artists on rhythms. Right. So Chenko confirmed. Chenko said covers everything, right? So as I
Okay.
said, everybody, I can speak for myself personally. I've never really, I've paid for full production once in my life. As in, I paid $5,000 to produce a song. Other than that, I found my own way of making a lot of music for a reasonable price. Um,
Right.
I do splits with people. Sometimes I prove myself that they know that I'm going to market the song and I have my own connections. So I have sweat equity, and that allows me to own.
I think as far as Seattle soca, right?
Right.
I want to I want to get a bunch of artists on rhythms, including
Right.
yourself,
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know?
mean, I am very, like, people really send soccer rhythms to me, but it's not like I wouldn't do it. It's just I don't really get the
Get it
opportunity to do it. So
right.
it's not something I'm actively looking out, like trying to do. But if somebody sends me a rhythm and I like it, I will,
Yeah.
once they like what I do, we could make it work.
Okay. Because I think, like I look at it as a way to invest in Trinidad, you know, and be like that Island Records, you know what I mean? Where you invest in, you gain all these records that are yours, and you spend your own money to market it and do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way to build towards like a real record label. That's like getting all these artists and you know what I mean, like making tunes
Yeah.
and
So
busting tunes.
I know you and Chenko mentioned the record label. So a label wouldn't work in the Caribbean just because people don't buy music, right? At the end of the
Right.
day, that's one. Two, Spotify not available in the Caribbean.
Really?
It's not. You have to
What?
have a voice. You have to have one of the IP.
I I can't believe that.
So that's already one good reason why a label won't work, because how are you gonna make your
Wow.
streaming money? Everybody in the Caribbean and Latin America uses WhatsApp and YouTube for music. So
What
YouTube is
about what about Apple Music?
Apple Music is available in Trinidad, but we have a Trinidad store. So your song has to be available in the Trinidad store, which is most songs, but so sometimes when you're seeing people saying their song is number one on the charts, they're talking about the Trinidad Apple Music charts,
Oh shit.
right? But still, so you limited to YouTube and Apple Music for streaming money, and Spotify is top, right? Spotify is number one in terms of income from streaming. That's
Right.
one. Look at COVID. If it is you and a label, no artist assigned to your label could tour right now. You know?
That's
And
true. That's dude. That's crazy. It's so crazy because it's almost as though it's like they're limiting the access to the music and the amount of money people could make, and explore. So it's like, so for me, right, the fact
yeah,
that I can't get people in the Caribbean to get onto onto Spotify and get paid from it. You know, like that's cutting out like any reason for me to even want to venture into getting artists from down there. You know what I mean? Because this whole region is not listening to Spotify.
Yeah, no, and that's the crazy thing, and so that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. It's like I see it. Remember I was telling about my boy Tej, right? Mikal
Yeah.
Tej. I see Tej there. I don't know if Tej is still in the chat there, but this is to me an artist who is a artist, producer, songwriter as well,
Right.
and Chenko as well. Chenko is also an artist, producer, so you and Chenko definitely have to link as well.
Okay.
So they are producers really trying something different, but just in terms of Spotify, no, like most people in Trinidad don't. So even some like getting on Spotify playlists is a conversation that soca artists don't even really have, you know, or
What?
so the people who start any playlist are the diasporas and so for example, you would be in the category of diaspora, right? Wozaki, you're in the category of diaspora. So if you started a Seattle soca playlist, you could now bust soca songs. If you build your playlist to 100,000 followers, you could now, and I mean, people are charged, it's illegal, but people charge to get on playlists. Huh?
Right.
As a hustle and a business too, right? So, but yeah, so, and then in terms of, so labels make their money from touring, streaming, which is record sales, publishing, and touring is dependent on if it's a carnival or not.
Right.
Publishing is non-existent because there are no publishing companies in the Caribbean.
What's going on with this thing, man?
So your option would probably best option would be Fox Views. In terms of what else, man? In terms of like merchandise and stuff or endorsements, you're lucky if you get a good endorsement right now because when B Mobile and did the endorsements to all the soca artists and they were paid so much money, I don't think since then people have gotten that level of money for endorsements. You know? Sounds like Julian. No, I think honestly, Julian's promos, I hope that Julian's starts a publishing company and starts a distribution.
Right.
Because and I'm pretty sure I think he's a smart guy. I think that he definitely has things he's gonna be doing. But
what about rhythm streaming?
They're good as well, but I think for soca, I think Julian's is the go-to. As in anybody I know who doesn't live here, I think my boy Patrick was in the chat just now. My friend Patrick is based in Calgary, and he would check Julian's promos for all the new soca. So anybody who is Trinidadian or tied to Trinidad away, Julian's promos is their way to find out what's going on in soca. But I don't know if you realized recently, because of COVID, I find out a lot of the views on Julian's promos dropped, right? Patos is there, right? So Patrick would use Julian's promos. A lot of the views dropped because people aren't, remember it's a kind of weird time, Black Lives Matter, the world kind of have heavy energy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it is that people just not in tune to the carnival culture and soca and want to hear something different, or if it just was a disconnect that people just really didn't check the channel for a while because they're busy. But I saw that views dropped a bit, you know? Like soca artists were releasing stuff and I custom seen them getting like 10,000 views in a day and thing, and they getting like 10,000 views in a month, you know? So
I think a lot of them they're in the march, you know, they're watching Major Hype and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like the soca industry right now, what's going on with COVID? Like if they cancel Carnival 2021, what's gonna happen to the soca industry?
Yeah, it's gonna take a hit.
It's definitely, you know, it's gonna be tricky. So I mean, I just wish that the industry was just a bit more structured and.
You know what I saw that's interesting? Kess just put out a Spotify playlist.
Yep.
You know? So how is, I mean, so they understand that they gotta appeal to the American market, you know? But
yeah, that's good management as well. Huh?
Nobody is, you know, but like you said, nobody down in Trinidad is gonna see that. right?
So that is strictly for the diaspora. And the diaspora, yeah, as Zach said, Trinidad getting the views. And Trinidad on spot, they making money. They starting to get on playlists something too. And they like all the diaspora or people who could access Spotify are streaming Prince Swanee and them boys, you know. So
big time.
it's just I don't know if it reached this stage yet where their music is being published and a Prince Swanee song or Jelano song was licensed.
Prince Swanee during up to like 3 months ago.
Right.
When I look on Trinidad and Tobago Apple Music, Prince Swanee was #1.
Nah, and it's crazy. Like his following is, somebody should do a case study on the Zesson movement because it's total. And I feel like we did a mini version of that with Trapso, as in Trapso was heading. Maybe we were a little before our time in terms of that kind of fanatism on streaming and thing. But I think that these guys definitely took it to a whole different level. And that's why I love the movement. Despite what they may be singing about, I 100% support them. And I just hope, because everything comes in trends and fads, right?
Waves,
so if when this wave is finished, I just hope that them brothers invest, you know? And I hope that people able to buy a house and a car, well, a house, you know, and invest so that they could continue to do what they love.
Invest in Prestige Limited.
Yeah, invest in the same companies, invest in Starlight, you know. But I don't know. I think these guys, especially Swanee, he strikes me as a very intelligent guy, and it's interesting. I would like to see what happens with them.
But forget about them. Forget about them guys.
Yeah.
Let's play Pronto, man. I'm gonna play Pronto.
Yeah, man.
I know. You know what? And look, I'm playing it off of. I'm gonna show you this real quick too. I'm getting you your streams.
Money there, you know.
Huh?
You gotta play it from Spotify. Give me some streaming money.
That's exactly what I'm about to do. Let me do this real quick.
But yeah, man, you have some people to link with. I say Chenko, Teja.
You see, because once I link with those people, once I link with people in Trinidad and they know, look, yo, it's a real Trini that's doing this out here.
Yeah, also on the flip side, Chenko, you have to send your songs to Seattle, send to Ronaldo.
Yeah. That way, you know, we what's up with this thing, man? Let me see here. Because people want that link too, you know, the people that's in the States from Trinidad, they want to know that, yo, it's a Trinidad person that's doing this.
Of course, and as I said, there's a market. There are a lot of people who like Caribbean vibes in America that I've met. You know, it's just they don't know where to get it. So I think we need to definitely create, you know, they're like hipsters and then who like Caribbean music, but they wouldn't go to a soca party just like that. So
right.
They don't really know any Trinidadians. So
you gotta spend mucho dinero, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, look, Spotify. I'm getting you your views, man.
I appreciate it. What's Zach said? They had a whole soca party when he was in. It was all Irish people. Serious. But boy, Zach, yeah, he's a pretty fine.
Yeah, them. For the girl, them.
Not tonto. I got the skills to the condo. I got the skills like none. How we do it like? Pretty girl, yes, I sexy body. Make me see on your lips, I can see your living. Arrest your body, make you start feeling. Bubble bug and then your hours just losing. Wind up the lips and then you start feeling it. And then you up it, just make you start losing it. Wind up the lips and then you start losing it. Then you pull up with hands and then you start losing it. Yeah, big boy, me no Big up everybody, Canadian crew.
Man, I love how she sings this part, bro.
Did?
I love how she sings that part.
No, there's this song called Papi Chulo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard it in the club in the States. It's really popular.
Oh yeah, I play it. You go Papi 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 Chulo Papi Papi.
No,
Papi.
there's a more EDM one. I think it's Troy Boy.
Oh, yeah.
She's the vocalist on that one. So
oh.
she has some hit songs behind her, man. Like she has some big songs, but she's dope. And she's a touring DJ as well. I said she was in EDC Mexico this year. She premiered the song there, and yeah, she performed to like over 10,000 people, I think, you know. So
dope.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So.
And the good thing about Trinidad is that, you know, the Trinidad passport could take you to mad places.
Yeah, well, I started to look at those, like, I think, well, especially with, I think now you need, for sure, you need an entertainer visa to perform in London. I'm not too sure about other parts of Europe, but I'm looking into that. But I have my...
Just touched down in London.
Yeah, yo, I love London, bro. Like, London is... New York and London are my two favorite places I've ever visited. I love Miami, I love LA, I love Atlanta, I love Texas. If I had to settle somewhere in the States, it would be Texas. Like I could live in
I used to live in Texas too, man.
You used to live there too? Wow, bro. You know, we had to take a road trip with you. You know the spots.
I went to the bomb factory for Steve Aoki.
Oh, weird. Wow. I got to open for Steve Aoki twice. Once in Trinidad and once in Miami.
That's dope.
Yeah, but and then I came back to Trinidad, and it didn't matter. People were like, okay.
That's cool. You gotta, man. That Steve Aoki is huge. I mean, I think like you got a great resume, bro. So like, you know, definitely when you can come to Seattle, I'm gonna be like, yo, he performed with Steve Aoki. You know, he went on tour with Bad Royal.
With Bad Royal. Yeah,
the man got tunes mashing up North, South, Central America.
It's crazy. Like Pronto is actually getting spins on Latin stations and stuff. It's crazy. It's like a whole different world. Like a whole different world. Even like there's some DJs, like there's a DJ on Pitbull's station that keeps on playing the song as well. There's a DJ in Japan.
Japan.
Who keeps on playing it, you know, so.
Japan is huge. You know, I went to Japan before, like, you know, like 2008, 2009, and 2010, I went to Japan, right?
Yeah.
And I went to this place, Yokohama. I went to Yokohama. and like you pull up, and it's like you see some people like they live in the West Coast type of way. They got like low riders and and some people live in. Bro, like I went to this Jamaican Japanese club,
right? And
that shit was packed. And they just, I mean, they're playing, all the Rude Boy tunes, from way back. That shit was dope. Japan.
Yeah, Japan is one of my dream places. I actually almost got to perform there with Bad Royal. They had a gig there, but it got canceled. And I was gonna save my money and go.
Yeah, Japan know what they got, what they doing. But
I think sky's the limit. There's so many different markets. As I say, big up to the soca artists, big up to the zestin artists, big up to the gospel artists, reggae, and it. But my journey is my journey, and what I'm doing is my own. I pave in my own path. Hopefully, that I can pave it for others to follow. But I am looking at these other markets. That's my passion. That's what drives me, you know.
Very nice, very nice. Well,
Yes. Good
I
vibes.
I think we got a good one, man, and a good. I think we should do it again. You know, talk. You know,
I'm always
come up
done,
with a
bro. I'm
topic
always.
and do some more stuff.
Yeah,
I think
man.
it's a good way for me to get more people in Trinidad and the West Indies familiar with me and what I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think people need to know, especially soca artists, they need to know that there's a Trinidadian in Seattle pushing soca. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to facilitate, like, let's get the artist booked in Seattle. Like, I'm saying it's not necessarily about me. It's about if we could get a soca artist booked in Seattle to perform at one of your events, that's big.
Yeah, I got you know, I almost had it. I got
Akil.
Akil, yeah, five
Yeah.
star Akil when he was coming back from oh shit, Heidi, what's up, girl? That's my
Hey,
cousin.
no Heidi.
that's that's my cousin. That's my cousin.
Oh,
I haven't
friends.
seen her in a long
Heidi,
time.
how you
Yeah.
doing? I know Heidi, good peeps. Heidi's so cool.
Yeah.
I see Fingal in the chat too. Big up Fingal.
I brought him on a boat on a ferry, but
Right.
he didn't get to perform because they were coming back from China, so they made it like at the end of the boat ride. So he just did like a quick meet and greet.
I'm gonna push for Fingal. Fingal, I feel he had to do I think he had to book DJ Charlotte and Aaron Fingal for a Seattle event.
Yo, let's get them.
He's always in Miami, so
I wanna, you know, get all those people in your network that you type with. I wanna get them on here. I wanna interview them. I wanna play their music. You know, I wanna promote them. You know, just start the movement. You know what I mean?
yeah, Bernard. As I say, I think like it's amazing to me that you having a soca event in Seattle because I have a friend who lived in Seattle and I know Seattle is real. Microsoft,
Yeah.
the rock movement with Nirvana came from Seattle. So the fact that you doing soca events in Seattle and people coming and supporting and that was just amazing to me, man. And the fact that somebody I know, somebody I went confirmation with and know
Right.
from Martin is amazing too. So, bro, just keep doing it. You definitely have my support. I know I don't sing soca. I'm not the ideal spokesperson for Seattle soca, but I 100% support Seattle soca.
Well, you know,
yeah.
it's not only just soca though, you know, because I realized that, you know, soca is still labeled as a world market, you know, a world genre, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll be stupid to just be like, man, I'm just soca, bro, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta bring anybody in that got that anything that got that in it.
Yeah, man.
I gotta work it in there, you know.
Yeah, no, sir. I mean, I'll definitely be visiting Seattle once traveling permits again. You know,
A matter of fact, dude, you know, today would have been the day that you would have been performing in Seattle. If everything was good, today would have been the day you would have been performing in Seattle, bro.
But we're gonna make it happen. But we still I got to perform virtually. So
yes. We gotta figure out. I gotta get that Apple. What do you call that thing? Like, how does it sound when I was playing it? How did it sound?
Was that the Pronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounded good. You can hear.
Okay.
Boy Johnson, DJ, what's his name, brother? D Johnson. But
Yeah,
you have a future NBA star tuning here.
Future NBA star. All right.
Yeah, man. Johnson, when next year in Seattle, you have to go to a soca party.
Yes. Yeah. I used to ball when I was in high school. I used to ball like crazy. I think I came down because I went to intermediate.
Okay. You're right.
And we came to CIC one time.
Yeah.
And I was the point guard. And I remember the CIC coach saying, "Oh, you gotta stop him. He keep coming through like his knife through butter."
Man. Yo, I actually played basketball for CIC for 1 year.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I was really good at basketball when I was like in primary school, up until like Form 2, and then I just started lineman, and I was like, forget basketball. This when Jordan retired, and then I was always told, so everybody was asking me like, you need to play for the basketball.
Come on, play, yeah.
But I just was so
see,
disconnected. I scored on my own basket already.
Yo, back then, we used to say all them thing was Zessin vibes, right?
Right.
Lyman, right? Or if you do something real fast, right? That man's zest and go on, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the whole Zessin, it changed, right? Zessin went from, just like the action to like it evolved into, all the different types of verbs.
It's a lifestyle here right now. It's like
yeah.
But listen, it's accurate to the environment.
Moving fast, they're moving pace, it's pace.
It's like what trap is in America. It's like what zest culture is here. And I think everybody loves trap music because trap speaks to that rebel in you, or that against the system. Like you want to grow out your hair, or you want to have tattoos, or you want to have piercings all over, or you want to pull out gut. Like it's just about going against the grain.
Going against everything.
Yeah, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens, but
we'll see.
Don't forget, I have any concert tomorrow.
Yes.
4 p.m. Trinidad time. Me Tej will be performing, and Steph Kalu as well. I have a half an hour set. DJ Adam will be backing me up. So good vibes. Also, I have a lot of music to drop in July. I think I have like 4 or 5 singles to drop in July. And some of them I'll be singing in Spanish. So
watch. If you're the only big artist that I get to interview back to back until I get more artists to jump on.
Man,
that's what we do.
Let me see if I can get a sample of one of these songs, right? Let me see. You wanna hear one of these Spanish ones, or you wanna hear one for the let me see if I can get the
let me hear one of these Spanish ones before the time go there.
Alright, how much time we have there? Let me see if we could get one of these songs there. Let me check. Yeah, I think it's this one here. I don't know if you can hear, but let me. Can you hear?
Yeah.
I wanna see a sexy but
Nice vibes.
Yeah, you get it, right?
shake it, baby, why you shake it for me? I'm just a listen to your wine because you're my fantasy. I can't stop thinking and tell me, say that sexy body. Wanna put a little closer, girl, be my fantasy. When you shake it, baby, why you doing up on me? How are you feeling about me, baby, girl, you're all I wanna see. I can't stop thinking and tell me, say that sexy body.
Yeah. So, as a sample,
yeah.
Somebody youths are working with.
Yes, because I have been playing music since I was 15, DJing, right?
Right.
So now it takes me like 10 seconds to hear a song and know if it's shit.
Yeah.
Or not, and that's a good song.
Nah, bro, it's interesting. It's some youths from Venezuela.
Okay.
So you and me and Cedric, and there's a Spanish rap at the end of the song called El Speaker. So it's interesting. It's like I've been working. It's the same producer who produced Pronto.
Nice.
right? So I've been working on some Spanish like songs for the Latin market with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
I mean, it's a good time too, you know, like you got a lot of people from Venezuela coming over to Trinidad, you know.
facts,
And,
Colombia.
you know, just you might as well, right?
Buenas noches to my Latin trips, you know. But yeah, the Latin community has been very welcoming to me. I'll say like one of the DJs from Peru tuned in tonight, you know, and it's I'm excited, you know, but I'm not. I definitely still have my hip hop joints to release more dancehall, hardcore dancehall, more EDM stuff, a lot of experimental stuff. So you'll see it.
You gotta do
But
some
tomorrow. Yeah.
some collaborations with hopefully you could do a collaboration with like, you know, Beanie, you know, or like, you know, one of them guys, you know, that all these people know, you know, like
Yeah, no, that's man, like I'm such a big TOK fan. And
okay.
I ended up on an EP with them. It was 3 songs on the DJ's EP. One was with Craigie T from TOK, one was with Basie, and the other one was with me. So I got to kind of link with them. I met Craigie in person in Miami. Me and them kind of resemble too. You know? But yeah, like Craigie T, Future Fambo. You know, I don't know if you know about Blood Clot song, but that was one of my favorite songs. You should check that out. Future Fambo. Blood Clot.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
The Legends are the Blood Clot song.
Boy, yeah.
That song was big, man.
Future Fambo, Charlie Black, them guys, they've been out to Seattle. Conscience been out here. Who else? Like those guys are like the main guys that go to like Texas and Idaho and all
one
those
of my
different
friends who used
Utah.
to manage Fambo was he tuned in tonight Styles. So they were those guys toured, man. They tour America.
Wow. But you know, another person that not only because I was associated with bringing him up to Alaska, but Taurus Riley. I rate Taurus Riley. He's a big artist.
Big artist. Amazingly talented.
Personality and stuff. Really good guy.
Yeah, nah, so don't worry, the Trinity contingent coming out just now.
Nice.
I'm gonna do a US tour within the next 2 years with a Trinity contingent.
Nice. Marlon Asha, make sure you bring out a ganja tune with Marlon Asha.
And that. We close up with that one.
Alright.
Yo, Ronaldo. Good vibes, right?
That's BraveBoy. Tomorrow, make sure, where could we, give me it real quick, where are we going to go tomorrow to get it?
RSVP. Alright, tell them just check my page and they'll see the flyer and has the RSVP link.
Okay.
But
check out BraveBoy, follow BraveBoy. If you're in America and you're checking this out after this, Spotify, BraveBoy, he got a bunch of tunes on there. Apple Music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so check it out and appreciate it. Yeah, give him them streams so he can bring out some more big tunes and appreciate it, bro. We're gonna do it again, and it was great.
Good vibes. Seattle, respect. Thanks everybody.
Respect.
No.